They often learned about experimental aircraft before they were even
around
built.
there, and then a dome on the top with these little glass things on top. Looked like there was a camera.
How does anti-gravity work? Maybe this question has been in your mind for many years. There's more uses of videos talking about this on YouTube, which make it even harder to understand. Let me talk about this a little. You start watching a video about anti-gravity because you want to get something from it. You don't want to watch a video and skip 30 seconds. That's somehow disgusting. But what if I tell you there's a simple trick that you can use to uncover all the secrets about anti-gravity or the electromagnetic propulsion force? That's what we're going to talk about. And at the end of this video, I'm pretty sure you understand everything about this concept of anti-gravity. And this is actually going to help you do your own experiments. When I first got the idea of anti-gravity, it was in 2015. I was more interested to the point where I wanted to start building the first prototype. I had almost every information that I needed about anti-gravity, but I was a little bit unsure. I didn't know if it is actually gonna work. But everything got more clear and understandable the time I saw this video. This is a video released by Pentagon where the US Navy pilots reported a mysterious object which was moving up high in the sky at tremendous speeds. But I think this is not the shocking point of this footage. What was amazing here is that this object was moving against the wind. I didn't know more about this script, but this thing really got me more interested in this topic of anti-gravity.
Or information gained from one of the crafts they were researching there, it appears that there are two different forms of gravity.
When it comes to the TR-3B, some speculate that the US spy crafts. Others question whether they might be from somewhere else, conducting some kind of surveillance. Why do so many reports involve the strange triangular-shaped craft, often described as dark in color, virtually noiseless? What exactly are they, and why are so many witnessed hovering? In the years after the US Air Force coined the term unidentified flying objects in 1952, reports often referred to UFOs genetically as flying saucers. But witnesses then and since have witnessed a wide array of shapes. For example, saucers, eggs, hearts, cigars, boomerangs, rag barbs, even tic-tac candies. Among the commonly reported shapes were V-shaped, arrowhead-like or triangular. David Meyer, who is a UFO researcher, has reviewed more than 17,000 case files involving the identified triangular craft, sometimes called black triangles. He said that whether the sightings represent the advanced US spy craft, as some speculate, or something of unknown origin, their purpose remains mysterious. Chris Mellon, who is the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence during the Clinton and George W. Bush administrations, said that there have been many instances in which these vehicles have been observed over bases operated by the Strategic Air Command. When it comes to the UFO, this is actually an international phenomenon. For example, in the 1950s, 60s and 70s, triangular UFO reports hailed from across the US and beyond. During the 1960s, at the head of the Cold War, mysterious flying triangles were reported over Connecticut, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Texas, as well as London and Madrid. Two National Guard pilots in 1969 tailored a triangular-shaped object, 50 feet in diameter, for 20 minutes over San Juan in Puerto Rico, until they ran low on fuel and had to return to their base. Many of these incidents will be attributed by officials to atmospheric conditions, weather balloons, or other everyday sources, but some remained unexplained. Between 1983 and 1986, a notable rush of mass sightings occurred in New York's Hudson Valley. One witness, Kevin Solaveter, who is a retired lieutenant from the Yorktown Police Department, described the huge siren craft 100 yards from wingtip to wingtip, hovering low, which banked and made a 45 turn before speeding off. Later in the next year, a hacking triangular UFO hovering over a stretch of New York's Taconic Parkway prompted a huge traffic pileup as scores of motorists stopped to get a better look. Many witnesses describe what they perceived to be the craft's extraordinary abilities. One evening in the late November 1989, two police officers on patrol in Belgium, not far from the German border, spotted a null triangular object overhead. Later, hundreds of Belgians reported similar UFOs, described in news as a triangular object with a bright lead center right, or as a flying platform with three huge searchlights. In March 1990, the Belgian Air Force sent up two F-16 fighter jets to get a closer look at one of the triangles that have been spotted on radar. Their onboard computers recorded the object's remarkable maneuverability and its ability to accelerate from 1,000 kilometers per hour, which is actually about 621 miles per hour, to 1,800 kilometers per hour, which is actually about 1,120 miles per hour, within seconds. What the computers registered exceeded the limits of conventional aviation, as the Belgian Air Force colonel told reporters. However, the extraordinary sight many witnessed is puzzling. The volume of sightings and the consistency of the craft's hovering behavior, combined with their unexplainable sudden accelerations, points away from the known military technology. This is about the TR-3B. Even though the US government tries to predict they don't know anything about this platform, the reality is that they are hiding something which is actually known. This is not only about just anti-gravity. When you even go to this phenomenon called time travel, it seems like the government have some information about it. According to the newly released Pentagon documents, time travel and anti-gravity technology are possible and could be used by humans to visit other worlds. In the recent article of The Sun, they claim to have obtained the real-life X files as part of their Freedom of Information request into the Pentagon's secretive UFO program, which is called the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program. One document looks into how anti-gravity technology can be used to build planes and spacecraft, claiming that effects can be implemented by manipulating space-time. As the report says, it might be possible to produce exotic phenomena, such as faster-than-light travel and time machines. After looking at various ways of controlling gravity, the study also suggests that wormholes in space-time could be used for interstellar travel. According to another file, future aerospace platforms might have propulsion systems that modify their surrounding space-time geometry to implement faster-than-light spaceflight or produce levitation via anti-gravity. Other files examine how space rockets powered by nuclear weapons can build bridges between Earth-like planets in other solar systems. The nuclear-powered spaceships will be able to travel deep into our solar system and beyond, while remaining economically feasible.
That this general had said during the presentation, one of the things that really stood out in Brad's mind was that he said that these vehicles were capable of light speed or better.
So what I'm trying to show you is that all these phenomena are real and they do exist, but the current problem is our scientists and the governments. As Nikola Tesla said, the modern scientists think deeper instead of thinking clear. They publish a lot of equations that end up taking you nowhere. Let me talk about the governments. The US government does whatever it can to keep these stuffs a secret. Whoever tries to reveal the working principles of these flying objects is murdered. But today on Cadian Physics, that's not gonna happen, because we are going to dive into the secrets by which these flying platforms are really performing this anti-gravity phenomena. Whether it's the OTCX-1, Ariane production vehicle, or the Silfec generator, everything about this anti-gravity phenomenon is going to be understood. But before we go any further, I know you're watching this video right now on a mobile or a computer. You want to know what is behind this mysterious anti-gravity phenomenon, and that is actually what's going to be revealed. But before you do that, click that subscribe button. Cadian Physics is all about anti-gravity. We have 2,000 subscribers, but if you also click that subscribe button, you will be added to the list of people who get notified when I upload a new video about anti-gravity. Let me talk about the wrong theory that I have learned back in the days when I started analyzing anti-gravity. I even think there is some of you who still believe this theory is real, even though it's not. The theory suggests that the Earth is a magnet with polarities, which means you can get gravitation whenever you arrange your electromagnetic polarities with the Earth's magnetic polarities. Do you believe that too?
So I wondered if gravity could be related to its cousin magnetism. And so I found that when I take two magnets together, I have some neodymium.
This is a Lockheed Martin research scientist who said that. He said that gravity can be related to magnetism. According to how he explained this statement, talking about the magnetic poles, I think it should be easier than ever to repair the Earth's gravity, creating anti-gravity. This theory is totally false. I don't know if you get it. For example, take one neodymium magnet, drop it on the ground as he said. I'm pretty sure you will get no effect at the time, but according to how he said it, you would see the magnet floating a little bit before falling on the sides, And that's not gonna happen. First of all, this is a paid scientist. I don't think he can go on a TV show and publish the whole secret of anti-gravity. Simple as that. If you consider the Earth's magnetic fields to gain gravitation, this is actually how the Earth's magnetic fields are described. According to how I see this, I think all these diagrams are wrong. Let me tell you why. A flying saucer, a real flying saucer, can travel the whole world without feeling the opposing force. For example, this object, which was moving very fast against the wind. So everything here needs to be understood. The theory suggests that the Earth is a magnet, right? If you have a UFO flying over the Earth, there are some areas where it will be attracted by the Earth's magnetic fields, and other regions where it will be repelled according to its own electromagnetic field polarities. But according to how I've seen UFOs, they can travel everywhere independently at tremendous speeds as they do in space. So this theory is totally false. So that was the first analysis. Let me talk about another theory that I think is really confusing some of you. The electrostatic gravitation. We've talked about this for a long period of time. The electrostatic charges really matter when it comes to this anti-gravity technology. But they don't function as you expect. Here's the mistake. I've seen that some of you still believe that by only using the electrostatic charge, you can defy gravity. Let me talk about this a little bit. This is a little piece of aluminum foil levitating above the table. This is a wide frame model which levitates above the ground. To levitate the aircraft, you need 50, 30, 20 or 15,000 electrostatic volts. This is on the aircraft which weighs grams. Now I want you to imagine how many volts you will need to levitate this platform above the ground. This is not possible when you even consider that you are using millions and millions of volts, which can even crack you apart when you get shocked. Let's talk about the Ariane production vehicles. How should these platforms really work? The aerospace designer, Brad Sorensen, stepped upon a top secret presentation at an air show, where he saw 3 unexpected aircrafts, leaving him scared and depressed. 3 flying saucers, resembling the 1950s designs, were revealed, with the smallest being 24 feet in diameter and the largest being 120 feet wide. They were referred to as the Ariane production vehicles, with the nickname Flagsliners. A saucer-like aircraft demonstrated impressive maneuvers, and then fell straight up, leaving the audience amazed. Brad Sorensen described the simple mechanics and showed Mike McKendrick the interior components, leading to a lunch meeting to discuss the Ariane production vehicles. Mark McKendrick and Brad, who worked in aerospace, noticed that the American military had advanced UFO technology. Brad described the ARV's interior, including a dome, jump seats, thin capacitor array, oxygen tanks, and the ability to travel faster than light. Zero-point energy is the lowest possible energy that a quantum mechanical system can have, and it exists everywhere, even in the vacuum of space, with enough energy to boil and evaporate all the oceans on Earth. Mark McKendrick used his aerospace design skills to convert a rough sketch into a technical blueprint of a functioning flying saucer. And after speaking with other eyewitnesses, he discovered that many people had seen and worked on the ARV project. Mark encountered Kent at an air show, where Kent described seeing a flying saucer at Edwards Air Force Base before being forcefully interrogated for 18 hours. It is also said that the military had been hiding a UFO at Norton Air Force Base, where pilots and other personnel could visit and see the craft, while also participating in activities like golf tournaments. The Ariane production vehicles have been sighted and photographed for at least 75 years with a consistent design. And the ancient Hindu texts describe the similar flying machines using the Mercury technology. Mark McKendrick discovered there have been sightings and photographs of Ariane production vehicles with a consistent design of a round shape, flat bottom, angled edges and upper compartment, suggesting that these vehicles have been around for at least 75 years. Ancient Hindu texts describe Vimana as flying machines with detailed engine descriptions, including the use of the Mercury, which can circulate and create a vortex when heated or when an electric current is applied, a technology that interested Germany in the 1930s. Mark's research on the ARV project led him to conclude that the craft operates using the circular Tesla coil, with metallic royals acting as capacitors, liquid mercury for thrust, and a synthetic vision system for the pilot to see in the 3 dimensions, while also being able to exceed the speed of light. Mark researched this ARV project, spoke to the UFO abductees, and found evidence of a round craft with a rotating chromium silver liquid, similar to technology seen in UFO crashes. And based on the Nikola Tesla's work, leading him to conclude that the ARV operates using a circular Tesla coil. Multiple metallic coils stuck with the gap in between act as capacitors to store and redirect electricity, while the craft uses liquid mercury and control system to generate thrust and move in any direction. The ARV uses a static vision system with cameras on the exterior to allow the pilot to see in 3 dimensions, and it can exceed the speed of light by manipulating field of energy around the craft. Physicists have theorized that a craft using zero-point energy could travel faster than light by reducing gravity and mass, compressing space-time and generating energy without exhaust. They have released papers explaining how a craft using zero-point energy could theoretically reduce gravity and lower its mass, allowing it to travel faster than light without violating the laws of physics. The vehicle compresses space-time ahead and expands it behind, allowing for rapid travel and maneuverability without experiencing changes in gravity or g-forces. UFOs can travel silently and without exhaust by generating energy from zero-point energy. The concept of zero-point energy, which is the ability to access and generate unlimited power from the ambient field of energy, is the basis of the Ariane production vehicle, a technology started from the extraterrestrial vehicles and manufactured by the human military intelligence. There is evidence of advanced technology being exploited by a large group with potential benefits for defense and civilian applications, and it is undeniable that this technology really exists. But several inventors who developed innovative energy technologies mysteriously died or disappeared under suspicious circumstances. Lockheed and Grumman may be involved in a secret anti-gravity program, but they refuse to discuss it due to potential threats to their competitive advantage. James Aaron, who was a filmmaker, was going to release a document exposing anti-gravity technology, but he died of cancer. And another filmmaker, Mike McKendrick, who also knew about this anti-gravity technology, was found dead in his apartment. Brad disclosed that the ARV has the ability to travel faster than light, which is a highly controversial and a mind-boggling concept. The audience was stunned by the maneuvers of the ARV, as nobody has ever seen anything fly like that before. Physicists John Wheeler and Richard Feynman calculated that zero-point energy in the vacuum of space is so powerful that the amount of space that fits in a cup of coffee has enough energy to boil and evaporate all the oceans on Earth. The ARV's method of propulsion is believed to be based on the work of Nikola Tesla, with the circular base functioning as a massive Tesla coil. UFO craft generates a powerful electromagnetic field by manipulating multiple metallic coils stacked on each other, potentially using millions of volts or more electricity. Physicist Miguel's paper on the warp drive explains how a vehicle could go faster than light without violating relativity. His warp drive would enable UFOs to maneuver dramatically without experiencing any change in gravity, unlike traditional aircraft that would subject the human body to extreme g-forces. Now we've talked about the Ariane production vehicle. Let me switch the topic. James F. King Jr. I believe this man was a genius, even though he was not talked a lot like Nikola Tesla, John Seale, or Odyssey Carl. His invention of the magneto-hydrodynamic propulsion apparatus was amazing. When we talk about the MHD propulsion, it actually brings up another topic, conductivity. In the beginning of the video, I talked about the trick you can use to discover the secrets of anti-gravity. Conductivity is the key to everything when it comes to the electromagnetic propulsion. According to what Google search told me, air can be magnetized, but at the lowest level. And this is all we needed to know, because if air can be magnetized, then what we are going to do is to make it more conductive by applying the electrostatic charge in a controlled way, so that it will finally be highly affected by the electromagnetic fields. This topic of conductivity is the mother of all the electromagnetic propulsion procedures that we always witness on these UFOs. If you even go to what these scientists said, it seems like they all believe that air conductivity is the most important thing in the propulsion. John Seale said when the conductivity switched, the Seale effect generator was propelled by the surrounding air. Let me even take you to one of the interviews that Odyssey Carl got with the media, where he said that the air is the propeller of his ship. So let's get back to the point, and this will directly take us to the interview Odyssey Carl had with the media talking about his device. Here's what he said when he was asked the difference between the UFOs and his device. He said, "We don't know. We didn't have a chance to examine the objects we saw, but we acknowledge the use of the same principles. Our design uses gravity, electromagnetism, electromotive force, and the radiation field to obtain its operational functionality." And when he was asked if his ship would need the rocket system, this is what he said: "We take energy from air and from other dimensions. The Earth itself is a spaceship which demonstrates where we are standing. It is rotating and orbits at a constant speed within a magnetic field. Our own planet is the propeller of our ship." When you take a closer look at these statements of Carr, I'm pretty sure you will notice some of the interesting statements and keywords that will help you understand the OTCX-1. For example, here he said, "We take energy from air and from other dimensions." This statement matches 100% with what Johnson said when he mentioned that his craft was propelled by the air when conductivity switched. And this is what I've been telling you.
When you analyze this whole interview, Oristika didn't want to expose the whole secret, but he really mentioned what's necessary when he said that the air is the propeller of a ship. There's even another statement where he said that the two rotating and counter-rotating charged bodies invokes rift. So, all of these are facts to prove that the air is the most important thing in the propulsion. If you finally find a way to affect the conductive air in your experiments using the electromagnetic fields, that is the first step towards the success.